Hello, good evening. Thank you so much for joining me for this evening's live stretch. Today is a 15-minute full body stretch. We're going to be lengthening all the major muscle groups. I'm going to be using a resistance band for the deep hamstring stretch. If you have a band, great. Feel free to use one. If not, you can simply use your hands and still get in a really nice deep hamstring stretch. So with that in mind, all else you'll need is your mat. Make sure that you're feeling nice and comfortable in what you're wearing. You're in a nice warm room so that you can really allow those muscles to open up and lengthen in each of the movements. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to sit down on the mat, bringing the feet forward. I'm going to bring myself into a cross-legged position. If that feels uncomfortable for you, you can have your legs outstretched or you can be kneeling. I'm just going to begin with some shoulder opening moves. So we're going to lift the arms up, reaching through the fingertips, and then round the arms down and back. So inhale, we come up, and exhale, we round the arms down and back. And as we do so, we grow a little taller up through the crown of the head. And we focus on opening the chest and melting away tension in the shoulders. Let's take a couple more. A nice exaggerated movement with the arms. These feel really good at the end of a long day, especially if you've been sitting at a desk. Let's do one more. Inhale and exhale, roll them down and back. Amazing work. Now we're going to bring our hands down on the mat. I'm going to bend the knees. The hands can either be splayed out to the side like so, or you can have your fingers turned towards your heels. And we're just going to stretch and open through the chest, drawing the shoulder blades together. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. We're going to gently straighten out the legs. Take the arms up and over, folding over the lower body, grabbing a hold of either your calves, your thighs, your ankles, your feet, whatever you can reach, dropping the crown of the head and breathing into the back body, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Fold a little bit more deeply. Couple more deep breaths here, enjoying the stretch running up the backs of the legs, stretching through the spine. For 3 and 2 and 1. Gently roll up into a seated position. You can cross your legs here. From here, we're going to take both hands overhead, stack the vertebra, lift up nice and tall through the spine. Inhale. And as you exhale, lower your left leg hand to your right knee and twist to the right. Dropping the right hand down onto the mat, looking out over right shoulder, lift up a little bit taller and deepen the stretch by rotating a little further. For 3 and 2 and 1, come back to center, lift those arms up, find as much length as possible. And then twist to the left, bringing the right hand to the left knee. Trying not to slump here in the spine, keeping your spine elongated, holding and twisting a little bit more deeply for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Back to center. From here, we're going to roll down onto the mat slowly and with control, one vertebra at a time. I'm going to bring the right knee in toward the chest, bring the left knee in toward the chest, take hold of the outside of the feet and just draw those knees down toward the mat. Coming into happy baby stretch here, trying to connect every part of your spine with the mat so that you can get a nice deep stretch in that low back as well. Breathing deeply here as we open through the hips. Apply a little bit more pressure to the bottoms of your feet to deepen the stretch. holding for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Gently release the stretch. Lower feet down to the floor. Stretch the legs out long and roll over onto your stomach. Take your hands on either side of your shoulders and peel up into a cobra stretch, elongating through the spine. And if you have the flexibility to do so, I'd like you to lift up a little bit higher, coming onto your palms, stretching out those abdominals, rolling your shoulders down away from your ears. Breathing deeply here. For 3 and 2 and 1. Now using my hands to help me, I'm going to come into a kneeling position. From here, we're going to curl the toes, walk the hands out a little bit further in front of the shoulders, spread the fingers, and push the hips up toward the ceiling, coming into downward dog. Really lift those hips up toward the ceiling. Let your head hang heavy between your shoulders, gazes on the shins. Slowly start to invite your heels down to the mat. If that feels comfortable, if you need more of a bend in the knees to get those hips further elevated, then please do add that gentle bend into the knees and really work on flattening out the upper back here. Breathing deeply into the back of the rib cage. For 3 and 2 and 1. Take your right leg up, stretch and lengthen, open up in the hip. Reach up as high as you can go with those right toes, and then bring the right knee in toward the chest and lower the right foot down between your palms. Take a moment here, really extend out through left heel, and then lower your left knee down to the mat gently. Interlace your fingers, take them on your right thigh, and you can flatten out the left foot if it's not already flattened. Roll shoulders down away from your ears, gently pushing that left hip flexor forward. Easing a little bit more deeply into the stretch by, again, gently pressing that left hip flexor forward, maybe bending a little bit more deeply at the knee. Keep your shoulders rolled down, spine is nice and long. Hold for 3 and 2 and 1. Take both hands down to the mat. Step your right knee back, curl your toes, and push up into your downward dog. Stretching and elongating here. Lift those hips a bit higher. And now we're going to lift the left leg up, reaching and stretching through those left toes, lengthening the leg before bringing knee in toward the chest and gently placing your left foot down on the mat between your palms, lowering right knee, flattening right foot, interlacing your fingers and taking them on your thigh. Gently pressing that right hip forward, stretching the right hip flexor. Breathing into the stretch, sinking a little bit more deeply into the stretch if you can. Holding for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Lowering hands to the mat, bringing the right knee, the left knee down, coming into a kneeling position, interlacing your fingers, taking your hands, clasping them behind your back and opening through the chest. Gently lift the chin, drawing those shoulder blades together. Nicely done. Release the stretch. Now if you're using a band, I'd like you to take a hold of it. Find the center of your mat and gently roll down one vertebra at a time. From here, we're going to bring the right knee in toward the chest and just hug it in close toward you. Take a moment here. Now I've just placed my band off to the side of my body, and from here we're going to actively stretch the hamstring on the right side. So we're going to elongate the leg, gently pulling it back towards you, toward your chest, and then bending. And then straightening the leg, pulling it a little bit closer in toward the chest. And then bending, releasing. Last one like this. We're going to stretch and lengthen. Pull that leg in a little bit closer towards you if you can. And then bend. If you're using a band, I'd like you to place it on the bottom of your right foot. If you're not using a band, you're just going to hold on to either the back of your calf or your thigh. Now, really focus on straightening that right leg and flexing the foot. So gently pulling the toes back toward the shins. Relax your shoulders. Left leg can be bent or straight, whatever gives you a little bit more range of movement. Feeling that stretch run all the way up the back of the leg. Breathing in through the nose. And as you exhale, draw that leg a little bit closer in towards your chest, deepening the stretch. Keep that leg perfectly straight. Keep lengthening through that heel. Inhale and exhale. And on your next exhale, I'd like you to draw that leg even a bit closer to you. As those muscles loosen up, we are pushing our range of flexibility, not to the point of pain, but we really want to be increasing our flexibility with this deep hamstring stretch. So making sure you're pushing it to the limit. Holding for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Bend at the knee, release the stretch. Take the left knee in toward the chest and we'll actively stretch by lengthening the leg and gently pulling the shin toward the chest. Whew. Bend and extend. Pulling it a little bit closer in towards you, keeping the leg nice and straight. Bend and extend. Pulling that leg towards you, deepening the stretch. And then releasing, using your band, if you've got one, on the bottom of your foot, pulling the toes back toward the shin, flexing that foot, lengthening opposite leg if that feels comfortable for you, all the while keeping those shoulders relaxed. We're doing a lot of good for our body by stretching out these hamstrings. If you have lower back issues, you may find this really helps. Deep inhale. And as we exhale, we're deepening the stretch, pushing that range of flexibility that little bit further. Good, keep breathing. Really nice, steady inhales and exhales. And on your next exhale, deepen it that little bit more. Pull that leg in toward the chest, keeping it straight, only bringing it as close as you can toward the chest while maintaining the straightness of the leg. Good. We'll hold it here for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Gently bend, release the band if you're using one. Take your hands behind your thighs, squeeze your legs together, and roll yourself up using your hands to help you if you need. Turn so that you are facing me. We're gonna lift our shoulders up by our ears, inhale, and exhale, melt them down and back. We'll take 2 more, inhale, lift, and exhale, roll them down and back. Last one. Really lift up and melt any tension away in the shoulders as you lower them down. Amazing work. I hope you enjoyed that deep stretch. I hope you're feeling really good and relaxed. I know I am. And I look forward to hopefully stretching again with you next week. Have a lovely rest of your day. Bye for now.